Hey now, and welcome back to the Junior Roller Derby Association Championships for 2019. I'm Bobby Narco. I'm joined by Pops Anarchy.
I'm Pops Anarchy. I'm gloriously joined by Bobby Narco and just happy to be here.
All right. If there's somebody on production, I cannot hear Pops at all, so if somebody can fix that on my headset, I would love that. We have a great matchup coming in between the Philly Roller Derby Juniors and Mob City. Philly's going to be skating out in black. Mob City's going to be skating out in green. Philly comes in the number 2 seed, and Mob City is the number 6 seed. Let's go through the rosters real quick. Pops, will you take us through Mob City?
A few things would make me happier. Mob City, we have Bok Bok, Porter, Pandemonium, Oopsie Daisy, Tay-Bus Driver, the Iron Rabbit, Afro Gemini, the Captain, Hater, Miss Amerikill, Raven Fritch, Rio, One in the Chamber, Brutiful, Chicken, and Slaughter Melon.
All right, and coaches for Mob City, we have Corey Ackles, Eva, MF Chaz, Bombshell, Ruby Rough and Tumble, and Kieran McCarter. And over for Philly, number 101, TIE Fighter, number 14, Rough Red, number 17, Takedown Diva, number 20 is Dirty Dan. 28, Bonnet. 31, Susan B. Anarchy. Number 378, The Captain, Motley Drew. Number 394, Hermione Mamer. Number 409, Vegomatic. Number 50 is Unstoppable. Number 80, Aya the Storm. Number 817, Boomerang. Number 888, Harley Spin. Number 9, Megalass. And number 99, Wild One. And coaches for Philly, we have Built to Spill, Devoid of Mercy, and Teflon Donna. All right, and so let's see the record for Mob City. They entered the tournament 5-0. They had a victory yesterday, so Mob City is 6-0. They are our number 6 seed, and they are ranked 9th in the open division of the Junior Roller Derby Association. And then over for Philly, they are ranked number 2, and they are our number 2 seed in the open division out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
City of Brotherly Love.
Yes. They had a record of 8-2 entering the tournament with a victory yesterday. That puts them at 9-2. These two teams have matched up before, but not this year. One other time, and Mob City won that matchup, but it was not in 2019, according to the...
2 years ago in Seattle.
How about that? And again, I cannot hear Pops over my headset, so if there's somebody in production who can fix that...
Quiet. Is it me or is it
No, it's the headset. I can hear myself.
The headset?
I don't know if they can hear you over the broadcast or not.
Okay. Probably better if they don't. I can hear myself perfectly.
Do you hear yourself through the headsets, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming left and right.
All right. We're good then. And
Philly will start out with a little tribute to Sylvester Stallone. The national anthem of Philadelphia.
I like the little do-do-do-do-do-do at the very end there.
Yeah. Picture perfect.
All right, take us back out to the track right now. Skaters are all lined up and ready to go.
Unstoppable on the jam line for Philly. Hater on for Mob City.
Action's out on the track. If the camera could switch its angle. They don't really want to see us.
I was going to say, no one wants to see this.
See us watch Derby.
Production's still trying to figure out how to turn on the headset.
Jamming for the black team, that is number 50, Unstoppable, and picking up lead. Jamming for the green team is number 24, Hater, picking up a track cut.
Power jam for Philly, and Unstoppable through again. 4 more.
Oh, I think we are. I think they do have. No, I think we're
still. Unfortunately, the...
okay, we're going to do this as a radio call right now since all you're looking at is us. The pack is stalled out and heading into the backstretch between turns number 1 and 2. Unstoppable.
Coming down. Whoop. One step to the line. Unstoppable approaching the pack. On the outside lane. Hater is back on the track. Oh, Hater. Whoop. Beg your pardon.
Pack still stalled out, just heading into the backstretch.
Oh, there we go. We've got live feed now. Much better, much better.
There we go.
I don't know where to look first. Unstoppable looking for some room on the inside. Recycled back. Looking for some room on the outside. Little footwork and is through for another pass. 4 more for Philadelphia.
Pop, say something else.
Jam is counting down, about 20 seconds to go. Better?
Yeah, I just had to turn up my headset.
All right, that would do. And the Jam winds down, full 2 minutes.
Unstoppable, 16 points on the board. 20 points on the board to start the game. Unstoppable making a statement. First lead change coming in Jam number 1, as is usually the case. Mob City still looking for their first points. Mob City out of Everett, Washington. And here we go. We'll tell you the Jammers as soon as we know them. We kind of have a curious angle from where we are. Green Jammers number 35 and picking up lead. That is Rio.
Bonnet jamming for Philly. Makes her initial pass. Rio is at the pack and calls it just as Bonnet gets there.
All right, any points? Let's get those tallies. 3 points.
No points for Philly, 3 points for Mob City.
Makes the score 20-3 heading into Jam number 3. First of the championships in the roller derby world that's going to be happening. You're going to have the men's championship taking place in October, and then you're going to have the women's championship taking place in November. Also, B-team championships going to be taking place in October. So championships and playoff season is upon us. Meanwhile, Pops, take us back out to the action on the track right now, would you?
Iron Rabbit on the line for Mob City. Making it through, facing off against Boomerang. Eye of the Storm, pushing the outside. Recycles, not quite recycles her back, stays in bound. And she's through.
Didn't see the penalty on Bonnet, but Bonnet starting from the box.
Bonnet back on the track.
That was an illegal contact, thank you. Scott Chicken is doing the house call and also
Appreciate the heads up.
spotting for us.
Bonnet is through. Coming around. Mob City calls off the jam.
All right, 2 more points on the board for Mob City. Brings them up to 5.
Another scoreless jam for Philly.
Keeps them at 20. Heading into Jam number 4. So, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association postseason going to be taking place in 6 different ways. August 9th through 11th, the WFTDA Continental Cup for North America West going to take place in Orem, Utah, hosted by the Happy Valley Derby Darlings. And then the WFTDA Continental Cup for North America East going to take place August 23 to 25 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, hosted by Dutchland. We'll tell you more about that. Pops, take us back out to the track.
Mob City out with the lead. Lead jam, Mob City blocker in the box.
So that's 3 leads in a row.
Mob City pivot in the box. And Susie B. Anarchy jamming for Philadelphia.
First appearance on the line for Susan B. Anarchy. Second appearance on the line for Hayter.
Hayter is through with lead. And Susie B. Anarchy is through. Mob City calls off the jam with a few more points.
Direction of play penalty coming in at the very end. So 6 points now, the high mark, and more than doubles Mob City score, bringing them to 11. Or high mark for Mob City, I should say. High mark for Philly, remaining the 20 points put up in Jam number 1, and their only score to this point. Team timeout by the team in green, Mob City. First stoppage of play is a team timeout with the clock showing 24-24. And this will give us a little more opportunity to tell you about the remaining Continental Cups. October 5 and 6 is going to be the European Continental Cup in Helsinki, Finland, hosted by the Kallio Rolling Rainbow. Then, Pops, what can you tell me about the international WFTDA playoffs?
November 15th through 17th. It'll be in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I believe there are a limited number of tickets available. So if you want yours, you better go out and get them right now. I think you can get them on the WIFT.com site.
Yeah, WFTDA.com. And that's the championships. There's going to be playoffs before that. They're going to take place first 2 weekends of September in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, hosted by Greensboro Roller Derby, and in Seattle, Washington, the very next weekend, hosted by Rat City Roller Derby.
Got to tell you, if you're on the East Coast and you're thinking about going to the International Championships in Montreal, there is a train that goes up there. It's the most glorious ride. You can ride yourself in, ride yourself home.
Is that the Maple Leaf?
It's the Montrealer.
Oh, the Montrealer, okay.
Yeah. You can take it all the way up from Florida.
How about that?
I believe we have Dirty Dan on the line for Philly.
Now, this team timeout has morphed over into an official timeout. Oh, no, they've rescinded the team timeout on the scoreboard. This is purely an official timeout. Good thing I work in erasable ink.
It's been already halfway through the weekend, an amazing weekend of roller derby. The game before this was just... I was exhausted watching it between Los Anarchists and Duval. Los Anarchists eked it out.
Yeah, there were 6 lead changes in the first 15 minutes of that game.
The last 2 jams in the first period went 2 minutes with no score and no lead for the last one.
It was
Absolutely
crazy.
Brutal, wonderful derby.
All right, whatever the issue was seems to be squared away. Scoreboard showing 20-11 with 24 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the first period.
And Dirty Dan squeezes through to take lead. Philly still holding tough with Rio. And he's thrown his initial pass.
Oh, Rio's got a forearm. Somebody's leaving on a forearm. Oh, it's a Philly blocker.
Boomerang out in the penalty box. Dirty Dan puts 4 on the board and calls it.
Making the score 24-11 in favor of Philly. So roughly a 2-1 margin using 12 as your common denominator.
I believe that's Rough Red at the line for Philly.
And now lots of skaters in the penalty box. So there's going to be more referees than skaters on the track to start this next set of whistles. 7 refs and 6 skaters.
Good ratio. Mob City grabs the lead.
Yeah, that's number 21, the Iron Rabbit. And that's number 99, the Wild One, jamming for Philly.
Wild One is throwing her pass. Iron Rabbit just off the track with the Galaxy Girls, having just played Santa Cruz. Must be warmed up.
Big hit at the back of the pack by number 17 for Philly. That's Takedown Diva, living up to her name.
Boomerang back on the track. The Wild One is through for another.
Swapping 4s and no more, so 4 each. It is a wash. Makes the score 28-15.
Unstoppable will be a jam line for Philly.
Unstoppable, the author of that 20-point jam in jam number 1. Only the second appearance on the jammer line since then for Unstoppable.
Hater on the line for Mob City.
Not the first appearance, actually the 3rd appearance for Hater on the jammer line.
Unstoppable through. Gets lead.
Unstoppable 2 for 2 on the jammer line. Mob City working a 3-jammer rotation, going 24-35-21, 24-35-21.
Unstoppable with a pretty little apex jump, puts 4 more on the board for Philly and calls it.
Makes the score 32-15.
Bonnet on the jam line for Philly.
And not really sure who that jammer is.
Rio is on the line for Mob City.
Ah, there you go. Good looking at.
Yep. And Bonnet is through. Philly gets lead.
First time Phillies had back-to-back lead jams this game. Oh, a
It's a
forearm penalty.
Power jam for Philly. Rio the penalty box. And Bonnet is through for 4. Mob City blocker back on the track. Bonnet at the pack, pushing, getting the work done. Looking for some room on the outside. And she's through for another 4. Power jam continues.
Pack in retrograde now, heading back to turn number 1. Now back to the pivot line. Illegal position called. No, illegal contact on the jammer. Lead is lost. This will be a 2-minute jam.
Power jam for Mob City. The tables have turned.
First 2-minute jam of the game.
Rio puts 4 more on for Mob City. Coming around for another pass. Doesn't quite stick the apex jump landing. Recycled back. Oh, sticks that one. Glorious hop. And Bonnet back on the track with about 30 seconds to go on the jam.
Nice blocking by number 9 there, Megalass. Forcing Bonnet to the, forcing Rio to the infield.
Making Rio work for those points. And Bonnet is through for another 4.
A dozen for Philly brings them up to 44, more than a fourth of their score on that set of whistles. And 8 points is the new high mark of the game for Mob City, and it represents more than a third of their team score. 44 playing 23. Oh no, 11 points on the board there.
Unstoppable on the jam line for Philly. And the Iron Rabbit back on the jam line for Mob City.
Iron Rabbit, Iron Rabbit.
It's always good to go back to classics.
Yes, yes.
Unstoppable, pushing, and is through.
Unstoppable 3 for 3 on the jammer line.
With the Iron Rabbit right behind him. Turns, considers a little jammer on jammer action. Oh. Falls off the jam.
Yes. Saw Iron Rabbit coming around. It's like, all right, that's enough. No points for you. Oh, no points for either, though.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh.
Our first scoreless of the game.
I think it's Susie B. Anarchy back in the line for Philly. Nope, my mistake.
Wait for it. 24 is the green jammer. I just saw that one. That's Hader.
Okay. 3-1 is Susie B. Anarchy. She is jamming for Philly. Hader has lead. Susie B. trapped up in the pack.
Hader now 2 for 4 on the jammer line.
And is through. Hader calls it off.
Jammer rotation like clockwork. Let's see if the next jammer for Mob City is going to be number 35. Let's see if that's Rio out there.
Not taking that bet. You seem to have it staked out.
One point picked up by Mob City brings them up to 27. Philly sitting on 44.
Dirty Dan the line for Philly.
Number 20. And that is indeed number 35.
And Dirty Dan is through the pack. Gets lead.
Mob City losing a blocker. Number 12. That's Oopsie Daisy.
Rear recycled back. Dirty Dan recycled back, looking for some room on the outside. And is through for 4 more for Philly.
Good fearless blocking out there by Mob City. Can't catch the number 309, Raven Frisch.
Penalty box, I think, is empty. Mob City blocker back on the track. And Dirty Dan recycled back.
The crowd falls over the hush.
I was about to say, a hush has fallen over the hall. Dirty Dan pushes the way through for another 4.
That's a dozen.
Either flapping his shirt because he's hot or making a very small effort to call off the jam.
New jammer for Mob City, number 247, Miss Amerikill.
And Dan goes to the penalty box. It'll be a power jam for Mob City. I didn't see the call.
Miss Amerikill then. Oh, it was a low block. Thank you, Scott Chicken.
Thank you.
Eagle eye of Scott. The chicken has an eagle eye. Or the chicken eye of Scott Eagle. Meanwhile, don't get punchy, Bobby. Roller derby going on. 56 playing 27.
Looks likely to be a power start for Mob City with Dan still in the box.
Only jammer is Miss Amerikill, having got the star on the star pass. And those 3 points are going to get awarded to Miss Amerikill.
Halfway through the first period, it's a lot. It's closer than the score would seem to indicate.
And those 15 points put on the board by Philly right there represents a quarter of their score. 59-40, 19-point lead, biggest lead of the game, and we have an official timeout with 14 minutes and 27 seconds left to play.
Is this the time to say something nice about sponsors?
Sure. Why don't we say something nice about the sponsors?
We have such nice sponsors. Where's our sponsor copy?
I believe this is our only sponsor copy.
Oh, no.
We can talk about how to save some money on your watch passes and on your championship tickets for the Women's Flat Track Derby Association.
Okay, the thing you got to know is if you're going to take that train to Montreal, there are only 3,000 tickets available for the championship.
There's only 2,999 because I bought one already.
That's right. The number is dropping fast. I think we have 2, so that makes 29.97. Not sure if we're bringing the kids. So if you, the pack is here. You can get a 4-pack with 3-day tickets to allow either of the playoffs for only $175 to $85 off the regular price. Get your tickets now to the best events in roller derby. WIFTA.com/tickets. If you want more information on the WIFTA Continental Cups and their hotels, go to WIFTA.com/cups. All the information on WIFTA playoffs and championships, WIFTA.com tournaments. Am I just repeating myself here? Same copy over and over. A little over eager. Say oops.
Like to thank our partners, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, WFTDA. They have 463 leagues spanning 6 continents, and you can find out everything you need to know about roller derby and how it's played at WFTDA.com. We got anything going on the Twitter? Can you tell us what's going on there, Pops Anarchy?
I can't see a thing there. I got to pull it right up my face. I do see the Diamond City is beating Attack Pack, the leading Attack Pack, 47-36. Also about halfway through the first.
How about the chat on the right side of that screen? Nothing going on?
Blind as a bat. Can't see anything.
Okay. There you go. Neither can I. Right. You can talk to WFTDA, but WFTDA is not going to talk back.
I'm not sure if I'm bragging or complaining. There we go.
Nothing going on the Twitter feeds?
Not a whole lot. A lot of people trying to figure out how to get to the other game.
Okay.
Maybe this game.
We're not offended. You know. Missing out on some awesome action over here. Only 19 points separate these teams, a 3-2 margin.
29 points.
29? Yeah.
Yeah.
A 2-1 margin.
Still close. Meanwhile, back on the track, there's some derby going on. Dirty Dan again on the line for Philly. Looks like he's out to lead. Not quite. No.
Lead to Mob City.
The Iron Rabbit takes lead jam. Mob City blocker to the box. Philly blockers making it very difficult getting anything done there. Iron Rabbit will be recycled back. Pushed out of bounds. Dirty Dan looking for some room on the outside. Gets through.
Low block coming in. Philly losing a skater on a low block. That is number 9, Megalass.
Iron Rabbit calls the jam.
Megalass, one of the Philly skaters that's going to be aging out after this year. We got Megalass, Bonnet, and Dirty Dan aging out on Philly. And over on the Mob City side, Slaughtermelon going to be aging out. So last Junior Roller Derby Association tournament for them. But do not shed any tears. I am sure that there is more roller derby in their future, just without a J in front of it. All right, here we go. Jam number 13. '24 picks up lead for Mob City.
Wild one right behind. Mob City calls it.
Each team picking up one. Makes the score 60. Oh no, Mob City gets 2. One for the skater in the box. Makes it 60-35. Another stoppage of play. This is a timeout by Philly, their first. Clock frozen at 12 minutes and 24 seconds of play in regulation of the first period.
The winner of this game will go on to the finals to play either Diamond City Miners or the Attack Pack. That's a game going on the other track right now. With Diamond City 53, Attack Pack 39. 9 minutes to go. Still a very close game over there.
We're happy to have you with us today for this fantastic tournament live on Twitch. If you like what you're seeing, join us for live free games from the 2019 postseason right here on twitch.tv and get the full schedule at wftda.tv.
Looks like we're getting ready to roll again.
Oh, that score was adjusted one more time. 3 now points for Mob City there. Makes the score 60-36.
Unstoppable on the line for Philly.
And I bet Mob City's going to put up 35. Rio. Oh, no. First appearance on the jammer line for number 03, Porter, for Mob City.
Philly Walker back on the track. Pack moving away from the skaters.
Unstoppable remaining perfect on the jammer line now, 4 for 4.
Unstoppable calls off the jam before any points are scored. Oops. Before many points are scored.
Before too many points were scored. 62-36, heading into jam number 15. Philly's got a skater standing in the penalty box. Don't really have that good of a view of anybody else on the box. Hayter jamming for Mob City.
I think that's Susie B. Anarchy in there, 31. Jamming for Philly. She would turn around. I could see it on the camera.
Directional play penalty coming in. Who's leaving? No one yet. Oh, it's number 817 for Philly, Boomerang.
And that is Susie B. Anarchy pushing her way through the pack.
Forearm penalty called on M. Chicken. Chicken. Scott said I could say that. Scott said I could say that.
And it is a power jam for Philly.
And a star pass.
Ooh,
Star's been passed to TIE Fighter.
Sorry, recycled back. TIE Fighter takes the cover.
TIE Fighter's number 101 resembles a TIE Fighter. Used to have dashes in it, but they make you take those dashes out now. But 1-0-1.
TIE Fighter through the pack again. It's a family of 3 on the track for TIE Fighter. Brother to Megalass.
Yeah, big Derby family.
Big Derby family.
All right, 4 points picked up by Philly. Brings them up to 66.
10 minutes left in the first half.
Mob City picks up 1. That brings them to 37. Just under 10 minutes. We are 1/3 of the way through regulation of this game.
Rio on the line for Mob City.
Directional play penalty sends a Mob City blocker to the box. That's Slaughter Mellon. .28 picking up lead. That's Bonnet.
That's Bonnet. Getting a lot of mileage out of what will be last championships. Through again for another 4.
Philly losing another blocker. So distinct pack advantage on the next set of whistles for Mob City. But it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio. 70 playing 37.
Dirty Dan on the line again for Philly.
And I don't know who that is. We'll find out in a minute. Ends in a 1. Mob City's jammer. And it's probably Iron Rabbit. Is that Iron Rabbit 21 out there?
There's the Iron.
It is Iron Rabbit.
Scott Chicken is confirmed. It is Iron Rabbit.
And Rabbit picks up lead.
Is out in front. Mob City blocker back on the track out of the penalty box. Dirty Dan looking for room on the inside.
What a move on the outside by Iron Rabbit.
Not finding any space at all.
Star pass, new jammer for Philly, number 14. That is Rough Red. Philly's
Red.
go ahead.
This Rough Red sister to Motley Drew, another Derby family.
So Philly's passed the Star twice. Mob City's passed the Star once.
Mob City calls off the jam before Rough Red can get back to the pack.
Makes 7-point pass. 7-point total. Can't get a 7-point pass, but 2 passes for 7. What do we got? 0-3 Porter picking up lead.
Wild one jamming for Philly. Recycled back. Porter with a spectacular apex jump. Gets by the Philly pack. Wild one still working in the back. Porter through again.
Forearm penalty coming in. Who is leaving on the forearm? It is the Philly pivot. Megalas.
And Mob City calls off the jam.
Nice enthusiasm by Porter. A little punctuate that call off. Don't just tap your hips, slap your hips.
Mob City.
Dozen points for Mob City. That's almost
closing up the gap.
almost a quarter of their score.
Yep.
And that is the high mark of the game for Mob City, surpassing the 11 points put on the board in jam number 8 by Rio.
Unstoppable back in the line for Philly and for Mob City. Hader on the line for Mob City.
Philly is working, looks like a 5 or 6 jammer rotation.
Hader out to lead jam for Mob City.
That's 3 leads in a row for Mob City and 6 of the last 8.
And Hader calls off the jam. Two for Mob City, none for Philly.
Look at this occupy the pivot line start. Take us back to Roller Derby pre-2009.
Susie B. Anarchy on the line for Philly, number 31.
I'm going to guess 35. Yep, Rio.
Rio on the line. Both jammers in there really doing the work. Susie looking for a little room on the outside and finds it. Oh, Cut track call, Suzuki? Nope. Just out.
Direction of play for Oopsie Daisy. That might have been the penalty whistle you heard.
Meanwhile, Rio has grabbed the lead.
That is 4 lead jams in a row, 8 of the last 10. 8 of the last 11.
Rio notches another 4 with a beautiful quite apex jump.
And how about this? Now it's back to a 9-point game.
Mob City closing up the gap as that period winds down.
Let's see if I could do this math real quick. 19 and 6, just 25 to 1 run over the last 4 jams. Mob City on a 25 to 1 run.
Mob City really closing up the distance. But Bonnet grabs lead for Philly, hoping to put a little distance between them and Mob City. And Bonnet is through for 4.
Pivot's hurt for Mob City. They're going to call off this jam. She can't get up. We need some EMTs. Don't let her get up. If you want to find out more about roller derby and how it's played, you can go to WFTDA.com. They have a couple different websites, WFTDA.com and WFTDA.tv.
All the information you need to tell your blockers from your jammers, figure out who's lead and why that's important, figure out what an apex jump is and why you should care.
So we're in an official timeout situation right here. That jam ended with 4 points on the board for Philly, bringing them up to 75. And no points for Mob City, keeping them at 62. So a 5-to-4 ratio using 15 as your common denominator.
You've clearly studied the maths.
3 minutes and 46 seconds showing in regulation of the first period.
Do we have a penalty count?
We don't have that live. We'll get that at half, but no, we don't.
I feel like it's been a low penalty game.
At least in terms of jammers to the penalty box, there's been 3 power jams for Mob City and 2 power jams for Philly. Mm-hmm. So the jammers have been doing a great job staying out of the box. Mm-hmm. Pops, can you look in on that screen and see what's going on over on the yellow track?
I can do that very thing. For those folks who are tuned into this game and curious about the other game, Diamond City is leading the attack pack 62 to 61. Attack pack has closed up the gap with about a minute left in the first period. Attack pack has come back from about 20 down. Looks like they're making a go of it.
Got an interesting vantage point. I'm sitting next to some of the officials, and so I can hear the officials making sure that the points are tallied correctly. Mm-hmm. All the penalties are accounted for, and the clock is accurate. Every tournament offers a different vantage point. Get yourself out to as many of these tournaments as you can if you want to be a roller derby superfan.
It's okay online, but there's nothing that matches what it feels like in real life.
The food here is the smells of the arena,
the sights, the sounds,
the atmosphere, the merch.
Right.
You can't get the merch.
That's right.
In your living room.
You want the shirts that make you the cool kid in the block. You got to come down here and pick one up.
Come and get them. I suppose you could do them on the internet, but it's not the same. They won't heat press them for you.
Right. Right.
And there is a tournament near you, I promise you. Wherever you are in the globe, with the possible exception of Antarctica, you are probably no more than an hour and a half away from a roller derby tournament.
Teams on all 6 continents.
All right, we got an official review now. This official timeout has morphed into an official review. I'm wondering whose it is. It is Mob City's official review.
I will point out that it looks like Attack Pack is tied up Diamond City at the halftime. 65-65.
Holy cow, that is nice.
Started off the second half, scores nothing over there.
As opposed to
You're the mathematician. I'm just reading off the screen.
most games start out nothing. That's a good parlor trick you can play. I can tell you the score of any game in the future before it starts.
That's right.
Any game.
I'll never be wrong.
Yeah.
Weekend has been packed with high-quality derby, and it's only going to, well, I don't know if it's going to get better, but it's going to be at least as good. And, again, we got another whole day full of games tomorrow. So if you're out there on WFTDA.com watching this, make time to tune in tomorrow. I think the championship games are 7 and 5 tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bronze medal at 5, gold medal at 7.
There you go.
Anything happening on that Twitch feed, Pops?
I see some cheering for Mob. I see some cheering for Philly.
Nice.
A little bit of both.
Little friendly rivalry going on.
Yeah.
Does that say Yo Philly?
I see a Yo Philly. I see a Go Mob.
Yo.
I see a Mob.
Yo Adrian.
I see a Philly. I think that's Unstoppable back there on the line for Philly. That's right. Oh, thank you. And Porter on the line for Mob City.
Only the second appearance on the line, the third appearance on the line for Porter. Porter out there on jam number 14 and jam number 18. And over here, who'd you say the Philly jammer was again?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable, not the first appearance. Actually, Unstoppable was finally stopped from getting a lead in jam number 19.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Unstoppable 4 for 5. This will be his 6th appearance wearing the spangled helmet cover on the jammer line.
Looks like we're about to get underway.
So we're going to eavesdrop on the official review.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Official review says Mob City was asking for a low block on the black jammer, but the call will stand. No call. The no call will stand.
On further review, the no call stands.
We liked it the way it was. We'll leave it.
Any number of ways that could happen. They didn't have enough eyes on it to overturn the call, or they had eyes on it and they were like, no, you're wrong. I'm not quite sure which of those it was, but on further review, that penalty will not be assessed. Let's take us through the officials. Have we done that yet, Pops?
We have, but we can certainly do it again.
Yeah, we had TBD, Headless
Okay.
Horseman, Boptimus Prime, Mellow Trauma, Saren Gasp, Melanie, Holy Guacajoli.
I believe it's I Holy Guacaholi.
I Holy Guacaholi. All right. Boo Hag and Zombie Dearest. Who do we have on skates?
We have Admiral Mayhem, Ref in Peace, Carmen Dragon, Zero, Sheffery, Tim the Ref, Synapsing, who I believe was taken out by a table before. Is that correct?
Oh, I don't know.
And Black Belt Barbie.
Yeah, Black Belt Barbie's our alt ref. That's who was communicating the results of the official review to us.
And we are back on the clock here.
Okay, 75 playing 62. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first period of game number 20.
Unstoppable finds room on the inside and gets through and gets lead. Followed shortly thereafter by Porter.
Unstoppable 5 for 6 on the jammer line.
Unstoppable gets through for 4, calls it on the ground.
4 more points brings Philly up to 79. Just over 3 minutes left in regulation of the first period. 1, 2, 3. Green team at full strength, black team at full strength. Penalty box is empty. 80 wheels a blazing. This is a polished concrete floor. here in Lakewood, Colorado. Excuse me, Loveland, Colorado. My apologies. Hayter picks up lead for Mob City.
Bonnet on the line for Philly. Follows shortly thereafter.
Oh, Bonnet's got a penalty.
Bonnet
Two penalties.
box.
Didn't see the first one, but the second one's a misconduct.
Power jam for Mob City. A chance for them to pick up some points before the half.
A full minute of scoring power. Lead is 13 points. Or the deficit, let's say. The deficit is 13 points. The deficit is 9. Oh, no! Forearm! 2-minute jam.
The tables have turned.
Oh, no, he'll get... That's only going to knock... He'll go back out. That's only going to knock
Before
30
the first
seconds off because
penalty
it was a full minute penalty.
Okay.
So 24 back in.
Still a power jam for Philly. I'm sorry, a power jam for Mob City. No longer a power jam for Mob City. Bonnet finds room on the outside and
Now both jammers are back in.
through. Bonnet finds more room on the outside and is through for 4 more for Philly. Hayter coming around.
Lots of time left in the jam. Oh, big hit. Hayter goes down and is subsumed by the pack.
Bonnet working in the back for 4 more. And Hayter is through one more time.
Direction of play penalty on number 9, Megalas.
Bonnet is through for 4 more for Philly. This has got to be the close to the highest scoring jam for both teams.
I'll agree with you. There was a 20-point jam put up before, but well, actually, hold on. In jam number 8, it was 12-11. So that was
And this
23.
Okay.
This is 8 versus 12, so a total net of 20.
Okay.
Second highest combined jam of the game.
Looks like we have time for one more jam before the half. Philly up by 13 points over Mob City. Philly led by as much as 30. Mob City has closed up the gap.
Philly goes to
And
unstoppable.
Unstoppable through for lead.
Low block called on the Mob City jammer, number 21, the
Power
Iron
jam.
Rabbit.
Power jam for Philly. Unstoppable through for 4 more. While Iron Rabbit sits in the penalty box. Megalas back on the track for Philly. Unstoppable through for 4 more as the clock winds down. Jam is over. It's halftime here. Philly 95, Mob City 74.
Is 30 seconds for each team to, for Philly to lodge an official review. Mob City would not be able to, having lost their official review earlier.
Okay, folks, it's halftime. You got 15 minutes to run to the kitchen, get something to drink.
Yeah, actually, it makes it about 12 minutes. Come on back a few minutes early. We'll do some statistical analysis for you and bring you back in for the second time of Mob City versus Philly. See you then. And welcome back for the second half of Philly versus Mob City. Philly is number 2 seed. Mob City is the number 6 seed. Scores shows 95-74 at the end of the first half. Pops, you got some penalty information for us, do you not?
We do. Philly has 15 all told. Mob City has 19.
Anybody in particular trouble? Who are our top foulers for Philly?
A couple of folks with 4. Bonnet has 4. Megalas has 4.
How about over on the Mob City side?
I think we have Simply Brutiful with 4, and a couple of folks with 2, and Scatterground with 1. So no one in deep trouble.
There you go. So more penalties on the Mob City side, but more evenly distributed. And on the Philly side, fewer penalties, but some people in trouble.
Right.
Talking in terms of general statistics of the game, Philly has had lead jam 11 times. Mob City has had jam 13 times. There was no jam that did not have a lead. Sometimes lead was lost along the way, but there was no jam where lead was never awarded. Philly has passed the star twice. Mob City has passed the star once. Philly has had their jammers report to the penalty box for 5 different penalties, 4 different occasions, but one was a double. And then Mob City has had their jammers report to the penalty box 4 times as well. There was one jam without any score. That was jam number 9. And there were 3 jams of 2-minute length that were jam number 8, jam number 11, and jam number 23. Highest individual score of the game was jam number 1. 20 points put on the board in jam number 1 to start the whole thing off by Unstoppable. And the biggest tally for Mob City, 12 points were put on the board in jam number 18 by number 03 Porter. And again in jam number 23 by number 24 Hader. So a couple of 12-point jams are the high marks for Mob City, and the high mark for Philly is 50.
Gear check time. The air conditioning here is weak, but the passion is strong.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And eyes and ears.
Mouth and nose. Again, we got the classics.
Yes.
The gear check looks symbolic, but they take the safety of the kids very seriously here.
Yeah, one of the few differences between the junior game and the grown-up games is the gear checks. And gear checks were mandatory in the MRDA and the WFTDA until fairly recently. So gear checks are completed. Everything looks like it's according to Hoyle, according to the referees. We did truncate that halftime. Sorry if you're just coming in. We said you had 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we're getting ready to go.
Get back from the kitchen. Come on, it's starting.
Trying to get back on schedule. It's going to be a power jam to start.
Unstoppable through, gets lead.
And now coming out of the penalty box.
Iron Rabbit?
Yeah.
Iron Rabbit back on the track from Mob City. Unstoppable finds room on the inside and gets through. Putting 4 more on the board for Philly.
Brings them up to 99.
Iron Rabbit still pushed out by Boomerang, recycled back. Iron Rabbit finds a lane on the inside and gets through. And Unstoppable calls it.
And the only thing that can stop Unstoppable is when he taps his hands to his hips.
We have nothing to stop but Stoppable itself.
Yeah, I think that scoreboard's missing a scoring pass. I think that should be a 4 and a 3.
Think so.
But it's not my place to say. No points on the board keeps Mob City at 74.
Bonnet on the line for Philly.
Official timeout. Yeah, that is a 4 and a 3. That score is getting corrected to 102. All right, 102 playing 74. First stoppage of play occurring after jam number 1 of the second period. First stoppage of play of the second period. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th total of the game.
Bonnet on the line. Hader carrying the star from Mob City. Bonnet recycled all the way back, and Hader gets through. No. Picks up a track cut and goes to the penalty box. That'll be a power jam for Philly. And another Eye of the Storm going to the penalty box for Philly. And another Mob City blocker going through.
And now tempo picks up heading into the backstretch. They had been stalled out at the top apex.
Bonnet finds a way through on the outside and puts 4 more on the board for Philly.
Got a skater down. Ooh. People put their hands together for the skater Boomerang, who's back up and skating to the bench without need of medical attention. So 4 points brings Philly up to 106. No points keeps Mob City at 74.
Dirty Dan on the line for Philly. It'll be a power start. While we wait through an official timeout.
All right, official timeout seems to be wrapping up.
A power jam, but a very short one as the jammer is standing in the box. And Dirty Dan is through to grab the lead for Philly before Porter can get back on the track.
Nice little pirouette there to get through.
Porter recycled back by Philly, keeping him bottled up. Philly blockers doing their job.
Bottled up Porter.
Porter pushed out by the Philly pack and recycled back.
Direction of play penalty coming in, black 17. That's takedown Diva.
Dirty Dan approaches the pack. Knocked out. Recycled back and comes back to the pack again. Calls off the jam. Puts 12 on the board.
Think so. Let's double check. It might be 11. It is 11. 117 playing 74. A pair of aces, pair of sevens with a 4 kicker on the scoreboard right now.
I'd play that hand.
I certainly wouldn't fold right away.
Unstoppable on the line for Philly. And who does your Rio on the line for Mob City? And
Rio picks up lead. First lead of the half for Mob City.
Unstoppable right behind him.
Hey, if somebody wants to chime in on the Twitter chat, we were kind of conversing as to why Everett, Washington is Mob City. If anybody knows the answer to that, give us a shout out on the live feed. We would love to know. First time this half, Philly held scoreless. They're hanging on 117, and 2 points added to the tally for Mob City brings them up to 76.
Twitter chat says the guy in the hat is impossible to hear. That may be just as well.
My bad. I'll try and talk softer.
No, I think it's me. Nibs 8, I will speak up. Let me know if it's too much.
117 playing 76. Jammers are Iron Rabbit for Mob City. And stalling until I can see the number.
I can't see who that is for Philly. Oh, Bonnet. Bonnet in the line again for Philly.
Back-to-back leads for Mob City.
Philly blocker to the penalty box. Bonnet is still working her way through.
Nice hit.
Nice hit out.
Track cut.
She's moving into.
Caused by number 309. Raven Frisch.
Believe that's the 5th foul for Bonnet, so she's getting into foul trouble territory.
And Bonnet, one of those anchor jammers for Philly, so
she would be a tough loss to lose. Yeah. Philly's got a strong jammer rotation, but it's never so strong that you can that you want to lose a strong player.
Deep. They went through all the way through jam number 6 before they repeated a jammer in the first half.
Bonnet has the cover off. Philly walls up.
It's at this point of the game that the conditioning of these athletes really comes into play.
Right.
You've been getting hit. Some of these skaters have skated other games today. Some of these skaters are skating on multiple teams, and
three of the Philly skaters have skated in the game just the 1 o'clock game just before this.
So
and
Star Pass,
more than a handful.
Lose lead. We're still in jam number 5, right? Yeah, so lead is lost on the Star Pass.
Okay.
Star was passed to Miss America. And now Philly with the jammer cover off as well.
Bonnet still looking for somebody. And the jam clock runs out.
2 minutes will do it, as only it can. Only the jam timer able to call off that jam. Four points brings Mob City up to 80. Philly held scoreless back-to-back jams, keeps that at 117. And our house announcer, Scott Chicken, being pressed into duty to adjust the scoreboard on the screen. Not the numbers on the scoreboard, but the scoreboard itself. Meanwhile, out on the track, number 24 picks up lead jam for Mob City. That is Hayter.
Unstoppable right behind him for Philly. Hayter calls off the jam.
Nothing. Our second scoreless of the game, first scoreless of the half.
So, as a piece of roller derby strategy, Mob City being down a couple of points, why would Hayter call that off before he got a couple of points scored?
Maybe because I'm looking at the penalty box, seeing if they were didn't like
Icing somebody in?
No, there's nobody in the box though. There's nobody in the box.
Yeah.
Maybe Unstoppable was too close and didn't think that
You could get through
he'd be
without
able
losing
to
a few.
score.
Yep.
His Unstoppable might have hit his teammates before he hit theirs.
Wild One wearing the star for Philly. Wild One is recycled back. Oh, no. Wild One to the penalty box. That'll be a power jam for Mob City.
Yeah, that was a track cut called on Wild One. Rio. picks up lead. That is 4 leads in a row for Mob City. Looking at the leads, you'd hardly think that Mob City was not winning this game.
Right.
Oh, penalty, also a cut.
Swap jammers out of the box. Wild One will be back on the track. It'll be a power jam for Philly. We are being informed by Dashman 0519 that it's Mob City because that's the name, buddy.
All right. Forget about it. Don't tell us. Don't ask us. We'll tell you who's the Mob City.
A rose is a rose is a rose is a Mob City is a Mob City is a Mob City.
Jet City, I get.
Jet City, I get. Charm City, I get.
Yeah.
Queen City, all of them I get. Meanwhile, back on the track.
Forearm penalty coming in. Who's leaving? Mob City losing a blocker.
Rio
95.
coming up on the pack.
Slaughtermelon on the forearm.
Rio with a sweet jump.
Yeah.
Sticks the landing, takes 4, puts 4
Number
on the
17 takedown Diva got away with a forearm because she didn't connect.
board. Swing and a miss.
Literally.
Rio recycled back by takedown Diva.
New jammer, number 9 for Philly.
Megalas takes the star for Philly. Mob City back. Mob City blocker back on the track. And we are done for that jam.
What's in poker, what's a dead man's hand?
That'd be aces and eights.
What's the score?
Oh, that'd be an 88.
Aces and eights.
2 bullets, a 7.
Kicker.
I'm not going to Deadwood. I'm not playing that hand.
Philly has not put points on the board since jam number 3.
Mob City's
getting points on the board, but they're not coming in bunches. It's a 2 here, 4 there. Got held scoreless their own as well. Let's see if
Mob
Porter
City
can fix
steps
this.
out the lead. Dirty Dan, it's a power jam for Mob City. Dirty Dan in the penalty box.
A multiplayer on the jammer, you don't see that every day. Not unheard of, but fairly uncommon.
Oh. Porter is through. Philly blocker back on the track. And Porter through for another scoring pass. Dirty Dan back on the track. He's through.
Just muscling through that pack.
Right. Up. Porter calls it after notching a few more. Mob City creeps closer.
Dirty Dan did complete the initial. That is the high jam of the game for, is it right? No, there was a 12. It's a high jam of the half for Mob City. Bring him up to 98.
20 minutes to go. 19 points apart for these teams.
Philly taking a team timeout, their second.
And on track 2, for anyone who's watching this game, Attack Pack has taken the lead, 98-86. 15 minutes left to go in that game. The winner of that game will meet the winner of this game tomorrow night for the championship of the Open Division. JRDA.
All right, we are 2/3 of the way through regulation. A little bit more than 2/3 of the way through regulation of this game. 19 minutes and 1 second left to play in regulation here on game number 20.
An official timeout. The officials have convened around the barbecue. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
That's Philly's team timeout. The scoreboard isn't flashing it,
Oh,
but it's Philly's second team timeout.
I have been misled by our feed.
Misled. So, scoreboard at home, Philly has one fewer timeouts than what you're looking at. What do we got? Pops.
We got a foot race here. Bonnet right behind Hader.
6 lead
And
jams in a row for Mob City.
no points. Hader calls it off with Bonnet right in his tail. Grinding down the clock.
Second scoreless of the half, third scoreless of the game. Keeps the score 117-98.
Unstoppable on the line for Philly. Iron Rabbit jamming for Mob City.
All right.
Unstoppable through for lead.
That is the medicine that Philly needed right now.
Iron Rabbit recycled back, bottled up. Unstoppable finds some room on the outside and is through almost for 4 more for Philly. Unstoppable
Philly
calls the jam after scoring 4.
Philly had been on a 22-0 run until then. Ooh, look, it is 11 squared playing 10 squared. Almost.
Almost.
That's definitely 11 squared.
That would be 11 squared. That much maths I got.
And timeout, official timeout, with 17 minutes and 28 seconds left. All right, so that official timeout was to clarify the previous timeout, and that was removed off the scoreboard, so Philly only has 1 timeout remaining. And everything is back according to Hoyle. The referees and officials are ready to get this game back underway.
I believe that's Susie B. Anarchy on the line for Philly.
Penalty box is empty.
Porter bottled up and
0-3 gets a forearm.
power jam for Philly.
That is Porter.
Porter to the penalty box for Mob City. Susie B. Anarchy looking for some room on the outside. On the inside. Gets past the last.
Hip check by the pivot, but the pivot went into the infield, so no cup call because the pivot went out of play on the hip check.
Lead jam goes to Susie B. Anarchy of Philly.
2 leads in a row for Philly.
And Hermione Mamer, Philly blocker to the box.
Porter's on a mission. He comes barreling out of that penalty box. Apex jump, sticks the landing. Completes the initial pass, star cover in hand.
Susie B. Anarchy calls it. Before Mob City can put anything on the board.
Yeah, brief second to communicate with the bench. And 1 point picked up by
Susie B. Philly 122, Mob City 98 with 16 minutes to go in the second half.
And now the scoring run is starting to head the other way. Philly on a 5-0 run after 2 jams. Not a major, but beats the run going the other way against them.
Hader on the line for Mob City. Against Bonnet for Philly. Bonnet out, grabs lead jam for Philly.
3 leads in a row for Philly.
Hader still bottled up. Pushed off the track and recycled back. Bonnet looking to put 4 on the board.
Philly losing a blocker. Didn't see the call.
Philly's Motley Drew to the box. Bonnet comes around for another pass.
Off camera, 42 for Mob City, returning to the bench. Brutiful with an ice pack on his mouth.
Ooh. Couple of points on the board for Philly. We have skater down. 2 skaters down.
Okay. Both from Mob City. That'll stop the clock with 14 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in regulation.
Both skaters getting up and walking off the track.
Rolling off the track, I guess you might say.
Rolling off the track. We never like to see anyone get hurt. We are happy to see them walk away under their own power.
Helmet covers being removed while the EMTs attend to them so that the game can continue.
We'd like to give a shout out to all of our volunteers, including the EMTs, without whom none of this would be possible, or maybe necessary.
And also all the rest, all the coaches, all the parents, if you're out there listening in Derby land, if you contribute to the sport, even if you're just a fan, boy, we need you. A roller derby needs, it takes a world to put a bout on.
It's an amazing collection of people who give their time and energy to make sure that this can happen for the kids to get out there and skate. It fills me full of awe, joy, and shame all at the same time.
Wow.
You know.
What's the shame?
I don't do enough.
Oh, you don't do enough.
I could help more.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay. I could be doing so much more.
Yeah, and also I should have shaved. I'm a little shaggy today.
I thought that was your look. I thought it was a patented Pops Anarchy look. So I noticed there's a Pops Anarchy, and then there's also a skater out there, Susan B. Anarchy.
Full disclosure, I am the Pops to Susan B. Anarchy today. Trying to maintain my composure, my equilibrium, and my...
I only found out at the half, and I only found out because you told me. So you've been doing a great job at calling the game impartially.
It's an amazing. It would be hard not to. The game is back and forth. Both teams are still right in it. We got plenty of derby left to play. It's anyone's game at this point.
And everybody's somebody's kid, so it doesn't.
That's right.
You're not going to root for your own and root against somebody else's.
I just like to see good derby, and this is good
Amen
derby.
to that.
So,
because there were 2 skaters injured simultaneously, we do not have any EMTs. You have to have at least one EMT available to watch the action on the track, and we don't have that. So we're going to have a little bit of an extended official timeout right now. Fortunately, the people, our tournament head announcer, Tommy Standby, gave us all kinds of fact sheets and stuff, so we can take you through Mob City's competitive season for 2019. They had looks like they were at a tournament March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, because bulk of Mob City's action came that weekend. 4 of their 5 games came during then. They played California Mayhem All-Stars, beat them 212-90. They played the Cherry Bomb Brawlers, beat them 247-190. They played Wasatch Junior Roller Derby, beat them 298-162. And they played the West Coast Derby Knockouts and beat them 314-77. What was that tournament? Do you know that?
I was just thinking.
March.
I can't tell if it might have been Seattle, might have been San Diego. I'm looking at California Mayhem, and I'm thinking they were national championships, national champs 3 years ago. So it's not the same team, but that's a heck of a
feather in their cap, and it's undefeated. And their only game outside that tournament on April 28th, they beat the Southside Revolution Rebels 209-145. And again, they had a victory yesterday. So although they're the number 6 seed and ranked number 9, they are 6-0 this year. This might be their first loss this year. But again, still too early to tabulate. Don't tabulate
whole
premature
lot of-
foul. Don't count your
whole-
chickens before they hatch.
No chicken before we hatch, right, Scott?
So over there on the, I see what you did there. Now over there on the Philly side, they have a 9-2 record. They had maybe a tournament or an extended weekend, January 19th and 20th, where they beat the Des Moines Derby Brats and the Sioux Falls Sodak Attack. Then March 9th and 10th, looks like a little bit of tournament action there, maybe a little round robin. They beat Raleigh, they beat the Cherry Brom Brawlers, and they beat the Tampa Bay Junior Derby All-Stars. But then less than 2 weeks later,
heartbreaker to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Shortly after defeating them.
and then
They've gone undefeated since then.
picked up wins against the Attack Pack and the Southside Revolution Rebels. March 20, lost to the Diamond City Miners on March 24th. Beat the Raleigh Juniors back in June, on June 23rd, and had a victory yesterday.
Now, I will point out that Philly beat the Attack Pack fairly decisively, lost to Diamond City Miners, but that same Attack Pack is beating Diamond City Miners on
There you
track
go.
2 as we speak, which says something about the sport.
And we are ready. In fact, we're back underway, unstoppable on the jammer line now for Philly. Forearm penalty coming in. That's number 817.
Another penalty for Boom.
Boomerang. Who is the jammer for green? I don't have green jammer yet. Oh, it's number
can't see.
03.
Unstoppable gets lead for Philly. With Porter more or less right behind him.
Good 2 furlongs.
All right.
Quarter of the track behind.
Unstoppable pulls 4 for Philly and calls off the jam.
So do you count a furlong as an eighth of the track, or do you count it as 1,700 and whatever feet?
It's an eighth of a mile, right?
Well,
I mean, that's how
it's an eighth of it's an eighth of a mile long track. It's a horse racing term.
No, I know. I'm thinking the 6 furlong race, the sprint, the 7.
Yeah.
My own pops, Pops Anarchy.
Grandpa's Anarchy.
Grandpa's Anarchy grew me up at Belmont and Aqueduct in Saratoga a million years ago. But we have Derby going on.
All right.
Let's not lose
Enough about
ourselves in
furlongs.
foolish
We're not here for
nostalgia.
Derby. We're here
Right.
for roller derby.
That's right. And Dirty Dan
Is the man
gets
picking up
lead
lead.
for Philly.
0-1-2 donning the spangled helmet cover. First appearance on the jammer line for Bok Bok.
Dirty Dan looking for some room to get through in the inside. Bok recycled back by the Philly pack. Dirty Dan looking for a way through. And
Ooh, track cut
Track
picked up by
cut.
Dirty Dan.
Dirty
This
Dan
jam will go to
to the
full
penalty
2.
that's a power jam from Mob City.
And a star pass, is that right? Did I see that correctly? That's no longer Bok Bok, is
That's
it?
right. Iron Rabbit has the cover for Mob City. Forced out and recycled back. Boomerang taking her all the way back to the turn.
This is a scoring pass for the Iron Rabbit. Initial pass was completed.
Philly recycling Iron Rabbit back one more time. Dirty Dan back on the track. Finds a way through.
4-point pass for Dirty Dan, completing that first 4-point pass after a trip to the penalty box.
Looks for 4 and
answered
finds
by
it.
4 points by Iron Rabbit. Iron Rabbit is not aware that Dirty Dan is closing rapidly. If she's not careful, she's going to get a pop.
And
but 2
the
minutes prevents that.
jam times out. Couple of points for both sides.
So 2 less than 12 squared plays 2 more than 10 squared.
That's gross. That's almost gross.
142 playing 102, a 40-point lead. Timeout 2. Team timeout 2. To Mob City, their first. 11 minutes and 31 seconds showing on the clock.
Over on track 2, while we take this break, I'll mention that Attack Pack is still holding Diamond City off by about 10 points. 11 points, if you want to be precise, 109-98, with 9 minutes left to play there.
Would like to thank you for joining us on Twitch TV. Curious about what makes a back block or track cut or any of those other penalties? Visit WFTDA.com for a new downloadable roller derby cheat sheet. Not going to help you cheat at roller derby. It's going to help you cheat understanding the penalties.
I'm not going to be suckered into reading the same copy again this time in slightly different language, but I will just say if you have any interest in roller derby or you know a kid who's reasonably fearless in skates, you send her or him out there. There's going to be a league in your town, and there's nothing that is better for a kid than rolling around and banging into other kids.
Amen to that. All right, looks like the team timeout is winding down. And we are underway. Bonnet up against Hayter.
Bonnet is through and gets lead.
That is 6 leads in a row for Philly now.
Hayter right behind her, hot on her wheels. Boomerang back on the track for Philly. Hayter makes it through. Bonnet makes it through.
Sneaky points.
Not just 4 for each. Both jammers coming back to the pack. Hayter slips around the Philly blockers.
Way out of play in front. Has to let him go.
And Bonnet through as well. 4 for each team. These kids look a little tired.
Track cut. Who's leaving on the track cut? Philly blocker.
Oh, that's Bonnet. That's 6 for Bonnet. Power jam from 6 fouls for Bonnet. Power jam from Mob City.
No, that was a blocker that got that track cut. Bonnet, the Philly jammer's still on the track.
Thank you.
Still on the track and scoring.
Over 4 points. Life is rife with error.
It was a 3-2-8 or a 3-7-8. That's why probably what confused you. That Motley Drew was the one who picked up that penalty. And now another penalty coming in. Philly losing another blocker. There is only one blocker on the – no, 2 blockers on the track right now for Philly. I was going to say army of 1. That's a tough situation to be in.
Hayter comes around the Philly pack again, and Bonnet calls off the jam.
Wow. Now there is the highest total score. 35 points on the board between those two teams.
That was exhausting just to look at. We're going to need at least a nap after this.
Was that 2? Did that go the full 2, or was that called off?
Bonnet called it off. It was close to it, but Bonnet did call it off before the time ran out.
And stoppage of play, timeout.
Twitter
timeout
feed.
Philly there last.
Twitter feed says, sadly, Creative Stitches, there's not a league in my town. And I bet there's a league closer than you think. Or maybe you start your own team.
What's your town?
Creative Stitches. What's your town?
Referees taking advantage of this timeout to make sure that all the points add up, that the time is right, and that the penalties track. Right now, it is a 43-point lead, 161-118 in favor of Philly.
It's Philly's last timeout.
What's that? Yeah, Philly's last timeout. They do have an official review that could be used as a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Just winded? You think that's it? Just take the timeout? Because, as you pointed out, everybody was really grinding all game long.
This has been...
why officials or why team timeouts were invented in the first place, really, is to give you just a little bit of a breath.
Deep breath. And
unstoppable in Rio.
Pushed out of bounds, recycled back.
Oh!
Rio pushed out of bounds, recycled back by Eye of the Storm. Unstoppable.
Illegal contact called on number 80, Eye of the Storm.
And Unstoppable is through and gets lead. Rio still trying to get past Philly Pack the first time. With an unbelievably beautiful apex jump.
7 lead jams in a row for Philly now.
Gazelle-like leaps through.
Spoing. That's what I imagine gazelles say.
That's what I heard when I saw him jump.
Forearm penalty coming in. Who's leaving on the forearm? That is Unstoppable. This will be a 2-minute jam.
Power jam from Mob City. Rio's got a chance to put some points back on the board.
Good skater to get those points in.
Philly trying hard to hold on to a 40-point lead here. Boomerang back on the track.
Direction of play penalty coming in. Philly losing their pivot now.
Rio with 4 more for Mob City.
And the deficit's now 35.
Boomerang takes Rio down. Recycled back. All the way back by Takedown Diva. Unstoppable back on the track.
Second scoring pass for Unstoppable.
Right.
Fourth scoring pass for Rio.
Unstoppable did not stick the landing.
Illegal contact coming in. Mob City losing a skater. That's their captain.
And the jam winds down.
Jamurai.
That was a heck of a jam.
20 points, highest jam of the game for Mob City, and matches the highest jam of the game for either team. 10 points on the board for Unstoppable. Brings Philly up to 171.
Philly holding on by 23 points, but it's still anyone's game. There's still a lot of derby left to play here in this last 6.5 minutes.
9 scoring passes deficit. Can be done. Plenty of time.
Did I say 23? My maths are terrible. 33 points, but it's less than it sounds like.
Yeah, scores come in 4s. So you could hack that away if you can get them unanswered. Stoppage of play is an official timeout.
You have a big jam. Everyone's a little bit tired. You have one team break out.
And that official timeout coming with 6 minutes and 42 seconds left to play. If you're wondering where I get all these stats from,
I was wondering that. Bobby Narco, where do you get all those stats from?
Do it on paper.
He does it all himself. It's crazy. I'm watching him scribble away, and he's got the maths going.
It's good stuff. Hey, we figured out where this team is where there's no derby?
Creative Stitches says I could go to Cherry City, Hillsboro. What state? North Carolina?
There's lots of derby in North Carolina.
Yeah, I think so. Hillsboro.
And there's going to be a Continental Cup. No, there's going to be a playoff not too far from Hillsboro in Winston-Salem, Saturday 6 through 8, the International WFTDA playoffs, hosted by Greensboro Roller Derby.
Sorry, other Hillsboro, Oregon.
Oh, Hillsboro, Oregon. Well, there's got to be derby around there too.
Right.
0-3 on the jammer line, picking up lead from Mob City. That is Porter. First lead jam for Mob City since jam number 9.
Dirty Dan is through for Philly. Porter out, hit out and recycled back by Philly. Calls off the jam.
Picked up, is that 3? Picked up all 4. Brings Mob City up to 142. And this is the first time that Philly has been held scoreless since jam number 9.
For RCR, that's Rose City. Doesn't want to play for the Port. There used to be an open game, but there isn't. Go try Cherry and say.
I can hear Scott Chicken talking to you, Pops. What's the intel?
He's looking for a team for Creative Stitches on the Twitter feed here. And
all right.
Bonnet is through again.
Yeah, lead
for Mob City.
Bonnet's still on the initial.
Porter bottled up by the Philly Pack.
Are you doing that on purpose? Because bottling
Bottles
porter?
up. No, twice.
You're taking me back to the Smithwick's Brewery tour.
I'm thinking of the Johnny Cash song. Hey, Porter. Cold Porter.
Team swap fours makes the score 175 to 146, a 29-point game. 31-point game. 29 was right the first time. 29-point game.
Set unstoppable back in the line for Philly.
Penalty box is empty. We will have 80 wheels clattering on this polished concrete floor here in Loveland, Colorado.
Oh, Iron Rabbit sneaks through the inside and gets lead quick for Philly. Unstoppable makes his hit out and recycled back.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Oh,
it's a
penalty.
Block, a high block.
That'll be a power jam for Mob City.
This is going to be one of those games where Mob City has more lead jams and fewer jammer penalties, but still might not win.
Mm-hmm.
So using 25 as the common denominator, the ratio is now 7 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Nice apex leap. Didn't stick the landing. Gets back up.
Unstoppable back on the track for Philly.
That's the initial.
Iron Rabbit calls it after scoring a bunch of points.
Mob City is begging their manager to take a official review. Number 23 coming in. That's Afro Jamurai, the captain, saying we need to review this. We need to review this. There was an illegal procedure. Dozen points on the board for Mob City. That is exactly what they needed. It is now a, was that 17-point game?
Is that right? Feels about right.
Feels about right. So using 17 as the common denominator, it is a 10 to 9 ratio.
Ratio. Ratio, mean, measure. We do have their official review.
And are taking it. So that will stop the clock with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left to play.
We are winding down, and I would be winding down here in the semifinal of the Open Division, JRDA National Championships in Loveland, Colorado 2019. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, Bobby Narco, this is a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. Lots of points on the board and lots of nail-biting action.
This is still up in the air. This is still deeply and unsatisfyingly and nervously up in the air for both teams.
Mob City does have their work cut out for them, but it's certainly within their...
It's not far beyond the bounds possibility.
There it is. MCM, Mob City
Misfits.
Mob City Misfits, of course. So we're getting the Scott Chicken's getting the results from Black Belt Barbie about the gist and the results from Black Belt Barbie. We'll eavesdrop and then pass that information along to you.
We are back live here. It's Mob City's official review was the no call for illegal procedure.
No call stands. Yeah, they wanted a penalty assessed to Unstoppable. Did you hear what kind of penalty?
Illegal procedure.
Okay. Direction of play penalty coming in on number 03. That's Porter. Lead jam has gone to number 24. That is Hayter. Who's Philly's jammer?
Is Philly's jammer in the box?
Yes.
Did we miss that?
Power jam in the box.
We're so concerned with the illegal procedure.
High block. Direction of play penalty coming in. Who's leaving?
Bonnet is back. Bonnet's back on the track.
Takedown Diva leaves on the direction of play.
Mob City calls it off with 2 minutes left.
13 points separate these two teams.
We've had how many jams that have gone over 13? How many jams where one team has scored more than 13 points?
Good question. Let me see if I can answer that. In this half, 1, 2, 3, and in the prior half, 1 over how many? What was the cutoff?
13.
Right.
The difference between the two teams.
1, 2. Only 2 in the first half. 3 in the second half. Look at this.
Iron Rabbit is through. And Dirty, unstoppable on the line for Philly.
Direction of play penalty. Was that on Unstoppable? No,
No, it was on Iron City. I'm sorry, Mob City.
Nice move around the outside like a buffalo gal. Unstoppable now trying to play defense, but swings and misses and gets subsumed into the pack for the effort. Mob City had cleared the pack, but on the basis of trying to throw that block, got absorbed by the pack again. So had to recomplete that initial pass. Oh my goodness. Less than a minute left to play. 5 points
separate these two teams.
How about that?
Penalty box is empty.
80 wheels of no penalty box is. I
Not
do
empty.
not believe
I can't
it is
see who's
empty.
in there.
I see some green where it shouldn't be.
Where there should be none.
In fact, I see a lot of green in the penalty box.
Alrighty. It looks like
bit of black.
Looks like it's coming down to this last jam.
Timeout green. Their second. Freezing the clock with 33 seconds left to play.
My heart is in my mouth. There's nothing. We had a 1-point game earlier in the tournament between Roll Lane Capital City.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It was 145 to 144.
Right. This looks like it's coming right down the wire.
Two seed playing the 6 seed would be a major upset for Mob City. Well, not that major, but fairly major.
Reasonably major. Both teams gathering up for one final effort.
Good work, Corey.
Fans are on their feet. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that on the top of your scoreboard. That's the backstretch you're looking at. Not very few people are sitting in this arena right now. Front row being very courteous. Sitting.
Oh my.
Pops, who's jamming?
And Bonnet is through.
Forearm penalty sends a Mob City skater to the box.
Philly backing up.
Trying not to be points. And with the majority of the skaters on the track, illegal position gets through. That's 4 points on, but that's matched by 4 points.
For Philly.
Jammers swapping fours.
Time clock is run out.
Mob City needs 4 and needs them to be unanswered and one more unanswered. 378 just giving him the business.
Oh,
that is Motley Drew, the captain. Direction of play penalty coming in. Mob City losing another blocker. Here's your unanswered points. But don't forget, Philly has points on. Philly is on a scoring pass. Oh, don't be. Did he call it? Was the jam called? Is this jam is called, but bad calculation by Mob City.
wow.
Holy cow.
I'm kind of speechless here.
Oh, I knew Philly had
think we're
points
unofficial, but I believe that Philly has just eked it out 183 to 182.
Oh, no, Philly does have an official review, but why would they? They're the winner. Mob City doesn't have an official review, so they can't challenge it. 30 seconds will tick off, and the victory is going to go to Philly. Holy cow. I think that got some bad advice to call off the jam.
I think it was.
They looked at the scoreboard and didn't realize Philly had unanswered points there.
As a fellow who's rarely at a loss for words, I am at a loss for words.
Holy cow. Well, thanks for joining us. You're going to have a lot more fantastic roller derby coming your way.
So,
do you know what's up next on this track? Actually, I know what's up next on this track.
You can find out.
It is Pile of Bones against Fort Collins. Regina versus Fort Collins.
Philly will be going to the finals against the Attack Pack.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Bobby
thanks
Narco,
for joining
thank
us.
you ever so
Bobby
much.
Narco.
Oh, my good God. Oh, good God.
Anarchist, and we wish you peace, love,
Thank
and roller
you
derby.
ever so much.